Well, hello, kitty. Where did you come from? I wonder. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, November the 30th, vlog number 195, and day 264 of this horrible COVID thing. Okay, so lots to talk about. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about my grandmother's quilt. At least that's what I'm calling it, my grandmother's quilt. You know that I'm trying to reproduce my grandmother's quilt. What have I done on it so far? Nothing. Yep. I've got 2 rows done. That's it. I've been concentrating my efforts on more embroidery, and yes, Christmas embroidery. And one of the things I want to show you is what I've been making, and this is it right here. This is a little train. It's all done as freestanding applique embroidery. And there are more cars to this. There is a coal car, a box car, a passenger car, and a caboose. So it makes out a whole cute little train thing. Now, Walter actually bought this on a Black Friday sale at one of the sites online we go to all the time for embroidery patterns. I had seen it previously and thought this was really cute, but at the time I didn't want to spend the money on it because I didn't know if I'd get to it. To do it this year, but I thought it was really cute. Now, you could just buy the engine. Well, when they had the Black Friday sale, that's what I did. It was 50% off. So I bought the engine. And I was very pleased with myself, and so I said to Walter, guess what I bought? I bought the engine, the train engine, that's a hard word to say, engine, on, the site online. And he says, oh no, you didn't. And I said, why, did you buy it too? Yeah. But what turned out is he bought the entire set. I just bought the one piece. The entire set is like 50 bucks American, so $3,000 Canadian, basically. And with 50% off, he decided to go for it. So now we have it, and I'm building it. And I'm really loving it. I love doing machine embroidery, you know that. So I've got the pieces for the next car done, and actually for the next 2 cars. I've been moving right along with it. Actually, it's a fairly fast build because you don't have to change thread. The thread that goes in this is all the same, the gold colored thread. That makes life a little easier when it's a single color. So anyways, I think I will probably have this done in time to put it up for this Christmas. So, been working on that. And the other thing that I've been working on, created this. Another Christmas decoration, but this is plastic because I bought a 3D printer. Yes, another toy for big boys. I've wanted a 3D printer for quite a long time, but several things have kept me from buying one. One, the price. But they've come down a lot in price. In fact, the printer that I bought, and I'm going to talk more about it later in the video, is really a good starter one, and it was under $400 Canadian. So I bought it, and I've been making all kinds of things with it since I got it. It arrived last Sunday night, a week ago, and we put it together. Yes, some assembly required, and you'll see that in my video later on. Spent Monday morning putting it together and doing the things you have to do with something like this, and then away we went. So I've made several things over the past week. In fact, the thing has not been turned off in a week. When I get a new toy, I play with it to death. Okay? I really put most things through their paces. I've always said I should be a tester for manufacturers' products because I will put them to the nth degree. I don't abuse them. I just make them do everything they're supposed to do. And that's where you find out whether or not they can. So far, I've been very happy with this printer, but more about that later on. I just want to show you quickly a few things that I've made. Now, I did do a snowflake, little thin one, but there is a problem with this snowflake. It's called, I have found out since, called stringing. If you look right in here, there's this sort of this part that doesn't really fit. That's called stringing. And the reason I think I got that is because you have to level the bed. The bed is where everything gets built upon. It's just a flat piece that heats up. And if it's not level, it will cause you great grief. And it has been causing me some grief, the leveling. Walter has more patience than I do, so he sits there and for an hour tries to get it leveled, and there's a procedure you go through. And it's a lot of, it's very mechanical. You have a lot of dials you have to twist, and there's springs involved. And I have been told that I should invest in a better set of springs, because the springs it comes with, everybody says are crap. And it'll make your life easier when it comes to leveling. Well, I'm about to find out, because the springs came yesterday. I did order them, and so we have to put that together and re-level the bed, and we'll see how that works out. So the whole thing with the 3D printer is it is a learning experience, and that's okay. Now, I said there were several reasons why I hadn't bought one until now. One was the price, of course. The other reason is basically the learning curve. This is not a plug-and-play device. They are still kind of in their infancy. They've come a long, long way in the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, I bought a book about 3D printers because at that point I was really gung-ho, I wanted one. But the book, after I read it, and it talked about all the problems you can have with them, how the technology at that point wasn't really up to speed for general consumer consumption, I put it off. I thought, no, I don't need that headache. So I've been watching videos. They got me turned on to the idea of buying this one that I did buy, and I did. And so far, so good. Now this morning, when I got up, it was making this. You're gonna say what, a chunk of plastic? Yeah, a chunk of plastic. This is a ruler rack, a small one, for my quilting rulers. Yes, I have discovered that there are all kinds of programs out there that people have created for making you name it, you can make it on a 3D printer. And they're free. People create these, put them up on different sites, and they're free to download. You plug them into your machine and away you go. So this was one of those, and there's tons of things for quilting and sewing as well. So there I can mix a couple of worlds, my technology world with my quilting world, and this is a ruler rack. So your rulers fit in here. Now I have a couple of ruler racks. They're made of wood that I bought, some time ago because I have a lot of rulers. So this took 15 hours to print. This was printing half of yesterday and all through the night. And this morning when I came down and took it off, I thought, I'm really pleased with this, because when it was being built, I don't know if you can notice this. There's some lines here, a little bit of, it's not really scoring, but it's not quite right. Well, I think that was because my bed was not quite level again. I think you basically have to re-level it after every major job, which could be a real pain in the ass, I can tell you that. But anyways, I was pleased with the way this came out, but I noticed that one of the parts on my 3D printer had loosened. Majorly loosened to the point it could drop off. I fixed that. It was an easy fix. I had to just tighten up the nuts on it. So that's something I have to watch for in the future, is to make sure all my bolts are tight, because there's vibration and movement in this device. So yeah, you can have these problems. But in the meantime, my bed is not level again. So this is a good opportunity to take it apart, put the new springs in, and re-level it, amongst all the other things I have to do today. But anyways, I made that. I made an Altoid tin. Now, this is not quite perfect. There we go. Lid, so it fits a little tight, but there you go. You got an Altoid tin. Now, what are you going to do with it? Well, I made it because I could. That's really it. Back some time ago, my art journaling group, we were doing some things in Altoid boxes, making little albums in them. And, when you want to buy Altoids to get the tin, you can't find them anywhere. So I actually went online to Amazon and I bought Altoid tins. Okay, they're not actually have Altoids in them, but they're the tins. And I bought a bunch of them for our group. Didn't have a 3D printer then. Now I can make them. But I also found that you could make a little paint palette that supposedly will fit in the Altoid tin. So I was excited about that. I thought, yeah, what the heck? Yeah, no, not so good. It does not fit in this tin. Now, I think, and I'm going to try this, I think I can scale this down just enough that it will fit in here without any problem, but we'll see. I'm just playing. That's all I'm doing is playing. If you watch Studio of MM, she's a young lady who lives about 2 blocks away from me. I know her mother very well. Used to teach with her mother. She has 2 3D printers. She's an artist, and she makes paint palettes that she designed in her 3D printer, and they're beautiful. She does paint pouring on them and resin pouring and all kinds of things. So I was just interested in seeing if I can get this to fit in here. Not that I'm going to step on her toes, because her paint palettes are absolutely beautiful, and she sells them online. So check them out at Studio MM. That's her YouTube channel, and in there you will find the listing in their show notes for her store. And they're very reasonably priced, and she has other things on there too. But she has been a great godsend with this. I wrote to her, sent her an email saying I bought one, I'm having these problems and things, and she very kindly sent me all kinds of information on what to do, and they were great tips, and she's offered to come over when we can figure out how we can do it safely, and check out my setup and everything and offer me suggestions. So I don't want to bother her a lot. I'm kind of one of those kind of guys. I don't ask for directions kind of a deal. But I mean, if I get stuck, I know I have her as a resource, and she's an excellent resource, and that's very kind of her to offer to do that for me. Help the old guy out, you know. I also made, this is a nose clip for a mask. In fact, this is one of the very first things that I made. Because when you wear the masks, and I know you can get the wire, you know, the little aluminum strips that you can sew right into the mask, and it'll press it against your nose, so when you're wearing your glasses, they don't steam up. And they do work, but they wear out very quickly, I have found. Now, we've got like about 200 of those, and Walter designed our masks in such a way that we can easily slide the little metal thing in and then replace it easy enough, and when we wash it, we can slide it out. But when I saw these, and they just clip, you don't see this, they go on the inside of the mask. There's a little, go up this way, there's little slot in here. Your mask fits into that, and it fits over your nose, and actually it's comfortable and it works. So I made a raft of these. Of course, actually that wasn't the first thing I made. The first thing I made was Hello Kitty. Okay, I wanted to try it out. I wanted to see how well it would print, and this I used as my little test piece, and it worked really nicely. Now, yes, this one's made out of white, so it's hard to see all the figures on it. You could paint it, but I'm not going to bother. Do the filaments come? That's what you call the plastic. Do the filaments come in other colors? Yes. This tree that I made as a decoration was done with rainbow. Unfortunately, the filament, when it changes colors, was very long intervals. That's why I've only got a couple of colors on here instead of the whole rainbow of colors. That didn't impress me much. That has nothing to do with the printer. That has to do with the manufacturing of that filament. Okay, I was kind of disappointed. But I have lots of filament. I bought black, I bought white, I bought blue, I bought green, I bought rainbow, I bought copper, I bought steel gray. I think that's all I've got so far. I still need to get some yellow, a few other of the more primary colors, some red. I don't think I got any red. So it's readily available on Amazon. It's not really that expensive. It's about $30 for a roll. It goes by weight for something. So 1 kilogram roll, so that's about 2.2 pounds. Roll of it is about 30 bucks. It averages between about 25 to 32, that kind of thing. You don't go through that much of it, I have found. Out of all these things that I've made so far, I have tons and tons of filament left. So, you know, in that sense, it's, I guess, sort of economical. But anyways, it's my new toy. I'm having lots of fun playing with it. I'm having some frustration with it, as well as new technology. I have to learn these things. And away we go. Okay, what else have I made? Well, I did make what I call my Steampunk Christmas runner. I have downloaded it just on a whim. I like steampunk. I'm not big into steampunk like some people get into steampunk, but I like steampunk. And I saw these designs. So I thought I'd get them. Well, I didn't do anything with them, but I finally did. I made this little table runner, and you can see it's all steampunk. If you look at the Santa, the colors are a little unusual as well. And there's a steampunk reindeer and the steampunk holly or whatever. And I just threw it together basically with some stuff I had leftover scraps, and it turned out kind of nice. I don't know if it's going to go out on display in my house at Christmas this year, or if I will save it for a gift for somebody. I don't know. I do know a couple of ladies who are into steampunk, but if I give one to one, I have to give one to the other. Can't play favorites. So I don't know. Maybe down the road I'll make a second one, and we'll see. We'll see. Lots of ideas and things to do, and I never know what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so that. And speaking of being creative, my art journal group met yesterday. We meet every month, and I have a video actually of that. I always post it. I record the Zoom afterwards because it's full of ideas. And this month, lots and lots of creative ideas. If you remember the curio cabinet I made out of those cheap little divided boxes you get at the dollar store with little wooden things in them, well, we had a challenge with what to do with that. Oh my word. Beautiful. What people came up with. Fun ideas. Everything from a haunted house to a Christmas wall hanging. There was a couple of Christmas things. Some really great ideas. So you need to check that out. And they're fun to make. Really are. But in the meantime, we're also giving each other a Christmas card that we made ourselves. I sent mine out on Friday, and I've already shown those to you in the last vlog. But I received my first one from the group the other day, and here it is. And this is one of the ladies that's into steampunk, and so it's kind of a steampunky theme to it, the gears and the whole bit. Beautiful card, beautiful card. And inside you have this, and then she also had another little card here, and on the back she wrote me a little personal note. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's going to go into a place of honor, as anything like this does. Actually, I'm running out of space for these things, so I'm going to have to rethink. I really do need to do a purge of my craft room. You know how I was talking about redesigning it to make it into my sewing room? I don't know if that's going to happen. To be quite honest, what I have for setup right now is working very well. And I really don't know if I would gain anything by converting this room. This area is a little bigger, but when you get everything in it, it's really not. So I've got that idea on hold, but I really do need to purge again. I have so much stuff that, one, I'm not using. And there's a lot of it is just plain garbage. I mean, I've been saving bits and pieces of stuff for future projects, and I never get to them. And why am I hanging on to them? So maybe in the new year, once the hubbub of Christmas is over, and we'll still be locked down, so lots of time there, right? Maybe I will do a serious purge of my craft room. You know, quite honestly, I have so much stuff I don't know what I've got, and I need to give some things away, you know, that will have new homes where they'll be appreciated and used, because they're sitting here and rotting on a shelf. That's all it is. It's a bit of a shame in some ways, because a lot of this stuff I spent a lot of money on over time, but I did get my use out of it, so maybe it's time to pass it on to somebody else and let them enjoy it. I don't know. We'll see. But Gina, this is the creator of this card, she also sent along her ATCs, and you know, my group is into making ATCs, and they have a monthly theme, but because we haven't been able to meet physically, everybody's been stockpiling them, and now they've decided to mail them out. So here are a whole bunch of ATCs from Gina, all very lovely, very creative. I don't know, I just don't get into making ATCs. You've heard me say that before, but I love getting, and they very kindly make one for me, even though I don't kind of participate in it. But I have a walls, and I said walls of ATCs that my group have made. I mean, because they need to be on display. But again, I have to start rethinking how I am displaying this artwork because I'm running out of space for it. So anyways, that's a lot that's been going on. So let's move to the YouTube channel of the week. Now, YouTube channel of the week is called Just Vlad. And the reason I'm putting him up is because I watched him when I got my new 3D printer. He actually had a video on how to set it all up. And it was a very good video, very detailed and very easy to follow. And that helped us a great deal. But in exploring his YouTube channel, I noticed that he has a lot about 3D printers, but he has a lot of videos on various technology, think consumer technology. And he talks about them, their reviews, their tips and tricks, how to avoid problems, all that kind of thing. And with Christmas coming up, that seems to be a popular time of the year for people to give other people electronic devices. So this might be worth checking out if you are someone who's thinking of, giving somebody an electronic device for Christmas, or you might get one for Christmas. So check out Just Vlad. This week's YouTube channel is called Just Vlad. This is a gentleman who gives you reviews, tips, and tricks about current electronic devices. Now, the reason I came across his YouTube video was because I was looking for videos about 3D printers, which I did buy one. And he has several videos about setting it up, tips, tricks, things you should know about using a 3D printer. But he is not just about 3D printers. He looks at a variety of electronic and technical toys that many people are purchasing right now. Since we're all shut in, we all want something to play with. So if you're looking for a review about a product you're thinking of buying, or you're running into some trouble with a product you just bought, or there are some things you don't know about in terms of operating that product, then you want to check out Just Vlad. So you'll find a link to Just Vlad in the show notes below. There's, of course, the link for Stephen and Walter Live, the latest one, below there too. And you're going to find some other there's quite a list of resources this week in the show notes. There's the book of the week is there. There's the link to the rebroadcast of the Zoom meeting with the Art Journal people. There is a link for a product, a Martelli Cutting Mat, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And what else do I have a link to? Oh, and for another toy, electronic toy that I'm also going to talk about, Littlelf Camera. It's linked in there too. But the most important link of all, okay, is the very first link in the show notes, and that's for Craft and Chat. And Craft and Chat is going to happen this coming Wednesday, so that will be December the 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a Zoom meeting. We do this once a month. Everybody is welcome to join in. The link is there. You don't need a password, although I have a waiting room set up, which means that I will admit you. That's just so I can do some screening in case, there's some idiot out there that wants to get in our group and wreak havoc, that kind of thing. To date, I've never had that problem, but just in case, the safeguard is there. Now, this Craft and Chat, usually we talk about what we've been working on and share our tips and techniques and our things that we're using. This is going to be a little different. It's a mini retreat. What I mean by that is from 1 until about 3 on Wednesday afternoon, we're just going to work on whatever. So whatever craft you're working on, this is 2 hours that you can plan for where you can just work on your craft. Bring your favorite drink with you, a coffee, hot chocolate, whatever it is. And just join us and work on your craft. I'm going to be doing probably some embroidery. And as we're working, we'll talk about whatever, okay? I'll probably try to get the ball rolling by asking people what they're working on and things like that. But it's all very informal. It's like going to, if you've ever been to a sewing retreat or a quilting retreat or a crop, okay? Same idea except virtual. So we'll see how that works out. I thought it would be something a little different for that group. So that's this coming Wednesday, December the 2nd, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the link is in the show notes, the Zoom link. You don't need any special equipment. You just need a camera on your computer or whatever. webcam, and away we'll go. So we'll see what happens with that. Will I record it? No, I don't think I'll record it because, you know, I don't know if anybody would be interested in watching something like this because we're just all working. Yes, we're sharing ideas and things, but I don't think it's worth recording it. So if you're a little afraid that I would record you while you're working away, I am not. So don't worry about that. Okay, so let's go to, what are we going to? Oh yes, what's pissing me off this week? Oh. Well, if you're not Canadian and if you don't come from the area I live in, this probably won't mean much to you specifically. There is a guy in Toronto. Toronto's in lockdown right now. You know, we have these different levels. They're all color-coded. Right now where I live, outside of Toronto, we're at the red level. But and that's the second highest level of, you know, restrictions. Gray level is the highest. That's complete lockdown. You can't eat in a restaurant or out of a restaurant. You can only get delivery or pickup. Stores are only for curbside pickup. There's a whole bunch of other restrictions. Well, yes, rightly so, the government has decided to do that because the highest number of cases in our province are coming from Toronto. I dare say probably the highest number of cases of any city in Canada are Toronto. And why is that? Because people are being stupid. And we've talked about that before. They're not obeying the restrictions. Well, there's one guy. I don't know why he would do this. He looks like a piece of trailer trash to start with, too. He has some rinky-dinky little barbecue restaurant somewhere in Toronto. And he decided to defy the municipal order in Toronto that he could not open up. Now, that didn't mean he couldn't do business. He could still do takeout and delivery. He just can't have anybody inside sitting down and eating. Okay? So, yes, that's probably, you know, interferes with his business, but if people want to support him, they can still get takeout. Okay? Plus, by the looks of things I've seen on the news, the place is really small and rinky-dink anyway, so I can't see how it's going to make a huge, huge difference to his profit margin. It will affect it, but everybody's affected. Well, he's decided to defy the order. And he has all these idiots, these rednecks, you know, who are supporting him on this. They're all out protesting and getting in the way of the police when the police have come in to, you know, issue the bylaws and things like that. They're all screaming and yelling, and they're not wearing masks either. They're anti-maskers. They're just idiots. Well, what's this guy think he's going to gain from all of this? One, they say that any kind of publicity is good publicity. Well, I don't know about that. I know for sure that, not that I probably would ever go to his place because it looks like a hole, okay? But I definitely won't go now to it. He's been arrested because he defied the cops several times. He was warned. The cops even came in and put locks on the doors of his establishment. And he came in and broke back into his own place. They took him away, they put him on bail, and the whole bit. Now he's got to GoFundMe to raise money for his legal defense. Well, if anybody gives him money to defend him, they're an idiot too. And I don't get it. I don't get it. There is an expression that someone told me years ago, and I've always used it since. And it's called, it basically says, pick the mountain you want to die on. Meaning, think before you protest something. Is it really worth it? And this guy is not thinking. If he's trying to get his 15 minutes of fame, yeah, he got his 15 minutes of fame. It's not fame, it's infamy. I think that's the right word, okay? He's infamous with it all. It hasn't done anything to help anybody. All it does is expose how many stupid a-holes there are out there during this time of COVID. All it does is show how selfish some members of our society can be. All it does is help spread the bloody disease. Is that worth it? Does he think he's going to be martyred because of this? That people are going to get down on their hands and knees and thank him for doing something that has altered our life in a better way? If he does, he's crazier than the anti-maskers. I don't get it. And I hope that he gets the worst penalties that the law can put out there with him. But you know, that's the whole thing with this whole COVID. The anti-maskers, the people who think their personal rights are being taken away, all that crap, oh, get a grip. I have no time for you. And any sensible, logical thinking, concerned, compassionate citizen feels the same way, I'm sure. You know, really, COVID is really sorting out the chaff, whatever. I'm trying to use a metaphor here and it's not working. You know, it's really exposing, I guess, in our society, how many people we really have in it that are very, very stupid. We are not long out of the trees, people, when it comes to this kind of thing, are we? So I hope cooler heads will prevail. I hope the law prevails. And the hell with these anti-maskers and these people who think this is something that you need to protest. They're just selfish idiots. What more can I say? So pick the mountain you want to die on. Or in their case, I hope the mountain tumbles down on top of them. Solve a lot of problems, wouldn't it? Okay, so product reviews. So I talked about the 3D printer already. And I'm still playing with it. Expect to see in future videos more things that I have done with it. I've only scratched the surface of what I can do with this. So I'm getting my feet wet right now. But I thought I'd show you what it looks like and when we started assembling it. Okay, so we're in the process of trying to assemble this 3D printer that we've bought. We've got the video up on our television screen where the guy explains how to put together. Walter's gone through the booklet looking for all the little screws and things that have all been labeled in there. We think we have it all. We've got the base part of the unit set up over here and did some preliminary things that you had to do to that. And now we're getting into putting the frame parts together. So some assembly is required. Hopefully, step by step, we'll get this thing together. So now we're at the stage where we've got just about the frame all together, and it's been a slow process, but it hasn't been all that complicated. A couple little minor snags along the way, but they were correctable, and we got that in. So we've done this so far with a minimal amount of cursing. So we'll see, there's still more to go. Okay, so it took many hours to finally get this all hooked up and running. Leveling it was not easy, and I'm printing my first thing. Now, the thing I have printed is, it looks like it's a Hello Kitty from what I can tell. I actually didn't want to print that out at first. I wanted a little test cube, but that wasn't on the little micro drive that came with this. So, I mean, I can probably download it somewhere, but I was anxious to see how this works. So anyways, it says, according to the screen, that I'm into it by about 16 minutes. 5% of it is done, and it's going to take 5 hours and 4 more minutes to finish this. And I can show you right now, it doesn't look anything like a kitty or whatever, but this is what it's doing. And I think it's operating correctly, but we'll soon see what adjustments we may need to make once this is done, because that will tell us then whether or not we have things set up optimally. It's not fast, that's for sure, but I knew that when I got it. But anyways, we shall see what we shall see.
So we're into this by about 45, 46 minutes right now. And it looks, from looking at the sides of it, that it's doing an okay job. We'll see when this is done. It's got over 3 hours, almost 4 hours yet to go before it's finished. And Walter's taking pictures of it as well on here. But I just discovered a whole bunch of quilting things that you can make on this, like rulers and templates and ruler holder and other little gizmos and replacement parts for sewing machines and things like that. And I found a whole bunch of Christmas things too. I mean, wow, it looks like the possibilities here are almost endless. So we'll see. Okay, so the 3D printer's been now operating for 3 hours and 8 minutes according to the readout over here. And it says it's got about 42 more minutes left before my little Hello Kitty will be done. And from this angle anyways, it's looking pretty good. So yeah, we'll see what the end product is like. And here's the finished product. And it took about 4.5 hours to create this little Hello Kitty, but it came out pretty good. There's no, like, the lines look very smooth on it. Yeah, so for the very first time, without doing any kind of adjustments or anything, this turned out really good. So I am impressed. This is fun.
So that gives you some sense of my new toy and what I'm doing with it and that kind of thing. But I bought another toy. I bought a little camera. It was very inexpensive. It was on a Black Friday sale on Amazon, but it was like $5 off its regular price. I think it cost me $35 Canadian. It runs off your Wi-Fi, and it's meant to be sort of an in-home security camera of sorts. I wasn't expecting a great deal from it, but the price was right, and all I wanted was to have a camera hooked up so that it is showing me, and it attaches to my cell phone. You know, it's got an app, so I could watch from another part in the house my printer. In case, you know, something was going wrong, I could monitor it from somewhere else. I didn't have to stand over top of it, that kind of thing. So I got this little camera. It's called the Littlelf, and it's great. For 35 bucks, I can't believe the quality of this camera. And it's got night vision, and the picture's very clear, and it works very, very well. So I'm very impressed. So I did a little video to show you what it's like in both day vision and night vision. And right after that video, I'm putting in another video about my new cutting mat. This is an expensive cutting mat. It came from Florida from a place called Martelli. They make a lot of very good, high quality quilting and sewing products. I was a little concerned whether or not how long it would take to get here, but I got it in a week. It did cost me $300, but it's a huge mat. It's a 30 by 60. It's very heavy, which is good. And well, I love it. So these two videos right now, one after the other.
So this is a new thing that I bought for my 3D printer. It's not intended directly for a 3D printer, but I want to be able to watch or check up on my printer when I'm somewhere else in the house, because this thing, sometimes I have it operating all night long. So this has night vision on it, it has sound, and the best part of this was it was only $34 on Amazon, and it works like a dream. It's better than the other Wi-Fi cameras that we paid over $100 for from D-Link several years ago. So the technology has definitely gotten better. But this really works. It's got a very clear picture, and I'm going to show you what that picture looks like. So this is what it looks like when there's full light on it, and I can make the picture larger if I wish. So you can see it's very, very clear. And now I switch over to night mode, and the lights are all off. It's completely pitch black in my room, and it's picking up it really well. So it's well worth the $35.
So this is my new Martelli cutting mat. It's big, as you can see. It's 60 inches this way and 30 inches this way. It comes in two colors. You can cut on both sides. I've put up the yellow side because I thought it looks a little clearer to me, but the other side flip it over here, is this purpley pink, which is also pretty clear. It's got your angle markings on it on both the right and the left hand side, as you can see there as well. And it has a square type ruler, 14 inches in the center. This is a very, very heavy mat, much heavier than what I was using before, and that's one of the reasons I bought it. I also bought it because I thought there would be less chance of it warping, but I have my iron over here, and I have created a board. It's just down here with my wool mat on it. That's not stuck to it. That will come off, and that fits right over here. So when I don't need the full length of the mat, I can iron over here and not worry about the steam going through and warping my mat like it did with my other ones. That doesn't mean this one wouldn't warp if it did have steam on it. But because it's a little heavier, I don't think it would warp as readily, but I'm not taking any chances because this is an expensive mat. This mat cost me, by the time you got it shipped from Florida to Canada, the exchange rate and the whole bit, and it was on sale. I took advantage of a Black Friday sale, or actually it wasn't, they were having a Black Friday sale earlier. So I got it for about $126 American, $83 shipping American. Do the exchange, it cost me $301. You're going to gasp at that price for a cutting mat, but it's a very, very good one, and it's worth the money for this size as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very pleased with it so far. And if you want to get one for yourself or look at it, you can go to martellinotions.com, and I've put the link for this actual mat, and they have smaller ones as well, in my show notes. Okay, so that's all my new toys for now. So let's go to the book of the week. I found another one that I forgot that I had called Home Paper Scissors, Decorative Paper Accessories for the Home by Patricia, Zapata. And this shows you how to use your paper crafting supplies to create interesting home decor items. Things you can give as gifts, things you can use to spruce up your own house, things like that. Now, we often realize as paper crafters, like we think of scrapbooking, we think of card making, but this takes us out of that box and puts us into the world of home decor. So if you're looking for something new that you want to use to spruce up your house, something like that, but you don't want to spend a lot of money at HomeSense or someplace else, wherever, this might be the thing for you. And I think it has potential for making some really nice gifts. Now, this book, I don't know what I paid for it when I bought it. Yes, I do. I paid $22.95 Canadian for it. I looked it up on Amazon, and on Amazon.ca it's now listed as $19.99 Canadian plus $3.99 shipping, which makes it about the same price as I paid for it off the shelf. But if you're looking for something that, you know, utilizes your stash of paper crafting supplies, then this might be a route to go with. Okay, so events in the past week. Update on my mother. She's fine. Nothing new there. Her nursing home is in lockdown. I talked a little bit about that yesterday on Stephen Walter Live. It does now present a problem for us in the sense that we had an appointment booked to visit her just before Christmas. I have a feeling the home will still be in lockdown at that point in time. So I think we can, though, make arrangements to deliver the things that we've bought her for Christmas to the main reception desk of the nursing home, and they'll see that she gets it. Plus, I'm hoping I can make arrangements to swap out her quilt because I don't like the nursing home washing her quilt because they are heirloom. They were made by my grandmother, and they have industrial washing machines, and that's hard on things like that. Although these quilts have been washed many, many times and have stood up to the test of time because they're so well made. But still, I would feel more comfortable if I look after it myself. And usually I would, you know, every month and a half or so, I'd swap out her quilt, take one home, wash it, give her a new fresh one, and then switch it around. Well, I haven't been able to do that for 8 months. So I'm not sure what shape her quilt might be in. So I'm hoping I can make arrangements that I can do a swap and, you know, freshen up her room a little bit. we would have decorated a little bit in her room for her too if we could have got in, but we can't. Now I know in the nursing home, though, they're putting up decorations and things. They post all the pictures of what they're doing on their Facebook page. So yeah, they're doing everything there to make things cheerful and bright for the holiday season for the residents. And that's very nice. My sister did deliver over to the nursing home a poinsettia for my mother. We should have got her just a silk poinsettia, because this poinsettia will die, because my mother won't water it, and they don't water things over there. And my mother doesn't ask them to. And I wish she would. I mean, yeah, they're very busy, but, you know, they are there. That part of their job is to, you know, look after the needs of the residents, and watering their plants is a need if they can't do it themselves. My mother doesn't even try to do it herself, because that's my mother. But my sister decided to get her a real poinsettia. Yeah, it'll last a week. I am very bad with poinsettias. I like them, but I'm very bad with them, because I have a tendency to either overwater them or not water them at all, and they die on me. They drop their little leaves. So I don't know. I don't even think I'm going to bother getting one this year. Or like I said, maybe I'll go and invest in a nice silk one or something like that that can put up every year. But anyways, my sister got her that, so okay. It is what it is. But Mom's dead. Fine. Had a guild executive meeting this week. Nothing too exciting there. It went on way too long. One person monopolized the whole conversation. Everybody listened politely, but I know what everybody was thinking. Why don't you shut up? Is probably what they were thinking, but you know, you always have one in the crowd like that, right? And yeah, there's been, like, the 3D printer was the excitement of the week for me. However, I do have like a new segment. I'm thinking of making this a regular segment now, and I'm calling it Walley Cooks. So Walter decided to make this this past week chicken parm. Now, okay, chicken parm is not a hard dish to make. Okay, even I can make that. But Walter likes to do it in the Instapot, because he bought an attachment for his Instapot that allows you to basically air fry with it. So I have a little video of that, and right after that video there's another little video showing something. I love these. They're Dutch pancakes. They're kind of like a thick crepe, but they're not like pancakes that we usually have. Usual pancakes have a rising agent in them, like baking powder or whatever, kind of a thing. These don't. So the texture of them is a little different, and the way you eat them is a little different. You take a warm one, you spread brown sugar and butter on them, you can put a little bit of fruit in them, and then I roll it up like a crepe and put a little syrup on it. Yes, all kinds of sweetness, all kinds of sugar, all kinds of calorie, but they're absolutely delicious. So I thought you might like to see what Walley was cooking this week. So this week on Walley Cooks, what are you making?
Chicken parmesan.
So you just pounded your meat, thinned it out, making chicken parmesan, and you're making it in, are you making it in the hot pot?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
Instant
fry
pot?
it up, right?
Yeah. And what do you got over here? You've got sauce in here, and then you're going to use the air fryer attachment thing here to cook your chicken. Walter loves his Instapot. He makes lots of things in the Instapot. And what are you doing over here?
I'm trying to portion out the chicken so we have an even amount.
Oh, okay. So, and what kind of pasta are you serving with it?
I don't know, what kind do you want?
Well, pasta is pasta. I don't care. Penne's one of my favorites.
Okay, well I can do penne.
I like penne because it's not as messy.
Difference doesn't no, it's messy.
Well, if you'd rather have linguine or
No, it doesn't matter.
that's
I'll
fine by
do
me. I don't
penne.
care. Well, whatever you want. Fine. And Walley cooks again. He cooked brekkie today.
And these are Dutch pancakes, which are a little bit different from regular pancakes. And you put brown sugar on them and butter, and you can put syrup too, but they're really quite delicious. So we've got all the accompaniments right there and the pancake. And what makes these different?
There's no like baking powder in it or anything like that.
So no rising agent.
No rising agent. So they're not really fluffy. They're
more like a crepe.
Yeah.
In a way, but they're actually quite tasty. I quite like them. So you take them and you butter them, and you sprinkle brown sugar on them and put in your fruit if you're having fruit with them, and then you roll them up like a crepe, and then you can put more syrup on them if you wish. They're kind of sweet when you get that all together, but they're very, very good.
And guess what I forgot to put in? There's 1,000 things on my mind right now that I want to get through today. One of those involves house cleaning. I hate house cleaning, but I have to do it because I want the house nice and clean before I start putting up the Christmas decorations. So I have to get on with that. So I forgot to put in the next part of my Christmas box album. This is part 4. So I'm going to insert it right here, right now. Okay, as you can see, I've opened up the box because I'm now going to work on the inside flaps. I'm going to save the album that goes in here for the next segment. But now what I'm going to do is concentrate on the side pieces and what's going to go into them. And I've done some pre-cutting here out of some various paper packs. And what I need to do now is go around the edges of each of these pieces with some distress ink, and then glue down the various bits of things. So I'm creating pockets on both sides of these, and in the pocket there'll be a little booklet, and that's what these pieces, once they're together, will be. And I've done some pre-assembly here, the little booklet. I just used some of the paper from my stash of Christmas papers, found some other drawing paper basically, and I thought I'd leave this blank. All I did was I stamped a little green star down the corner of each page, but it's meant to be just a little journal. I may put a ribbon along the side of this. I don't know yet. We'll see how well it fits in, but this will fit right into the pocket. And also in the pocket there will be a tag on the outside, and there's going to be a tag on the inside. So I'm going to put a little border piece down here and stuff a little tag in there. So there'll be quite a lot of things going on, and I've got to be aware of the fact that I got to keep this fairly thin because it won't close if I make it too thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this spot up a little bit so I have some room to work and show you what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on the 2 pockets, one for either side of the gift box. And I've got out my archival ink, and this is what I've been using throughout this project, so I think I'll continue doing so. It's coffee brown, and I just want to age each of these pieces. So this is actually going to be the pocket here. So we'll just go around the edges. I'm not trying to get it too dark, it's just being subtle. And then I have a piece that I want to put down here along the edge, and I pre-cut these to the right size. So I just need to darken up the edges. Now this ink pad is a little bit on the dry side. I was going to refresh it and I didn't. So see, this will get attached there. Then I have not these pieces are for the inside of the box, so I'll just put those aside there. Then I have this little tag, which could be used to mount a picture or do some journaling on the back of it. Now I'm just wondering, see, this is going to go in here, and I'm just wondering if I should back it or not. Would make it a little bit firmer, and if I put a neutral color on the back, this is one for the other side, same thing as on there. Maybe I should back these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go off, I'm going to back this, I'm going to finish darkening these pieces, and I'll show you my assembly. Okay, so I'm ready to start adding my elements to the inside of this box. So I'm just going to move this over here out of the way for a second. And what I've already done is I have gone around all the edges of all my pieces with the coffee archival ink, and I did mount this little card onto a piece of cardstock, and you can see it's just a plain sort of a off-white or a tan sort of cardstock went around the edges. So the idea here is someone could put a picture here, someone could do some writing here if they wished. This will be my pocket piece, and this is a piece that goes on the top of this. Now, I've already started to put some of my double-sided tape on my elements here. I have forgot to put it on this pocket, so I'm going to grab that right now and do it. And I'm just going to use double-sided tape for this whole project. So I'm putting a piece just up here at the top, very close to the edge, and then one along the bottom. And that's all I think I'll put on here because I want the pocket to open up. I'm just going to varnish that with my bone folder. And you'll notice that I'm putting, and this is this side over here, I'm putting one over on this side, and my other one, which is right here, is going to go on this side. But I did it this way instead of inwards. I did it outwards because I have this magnet sitting here. And I thought of putting some of the paper on top of the magnet, but it's going to look like something's not stuck down if I did that. So I'm just leaving it there. I was debating whether or not I should put some decoration on this or not, but I don't think I will. I think I will just leave it as it is. So make sure I put the tape on the right side of this, meaning the side that's going to show. I'm going to put the tape on the opposite side. And there we are. Varnish. Now, just before I put the pocket down, I'm going to put this little piece is going to go down here, and I just realized I did something wrong. This was supposed to be a little pocket. So, if I do this, it's not going to be a little pocket. I'm going to need to take off this one strip. Now, you're going to say, well, how are you going to get that off? I could cut another piece, but I have one of these little erasers that removes glue. Just cut the corner off. They get a little dirty and you have to cut the dirty pieces off. And all you do is just rub this along here and it should roll up sticky without any problem. And it is doing that. So this saves you having to cut another piece. If you make a mistake, you see it just rolls it right up. And you can get these at any art store. Probably get them at Michael's as well. So that means now I need, I'm going to need a little bit of double-sided tape on each end of this. So, yep, you think you're ahead by working ahead. You find out you make a mistake. Well, that's not unusual for me. Okay. So what I'm going to do is assemble one of these flaps, and then I'll assemble the other one off camera because it's done exactly in the same way, so you don't need to watch me do that. So this is going to go right down here. There we are. Now I notice that I'm a little over the edge here. So I'm just going to trim that. Okay. Now I'll take this off the back of this. And this piece should fit right in here. And there we have it. Okay, then I have the tag, or the little card journaling piece. It's just going to get tucked right in There. And sometimes if you find your pockets are a little tight, just take your bone folder or something flat, spatula or something, just gently give it a little bit of a stretch. And then everything will fit in very nicely. Okay, so that side is done. I'm going to go off camera and do the other side, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so there we have our two pockets with our little journaling cards, if you want to call them that, tucked in there. So now it's time, just move this over to the side a bit, to work on our two little mini journal books, or whatever you want to call them. So I've already put my two-sided tape on this, so this piece is going to go here, and I cut this out purposely so it says Merry Christmas on it. This little piece is going to go up here at the top, just down a little bit. Maybe move that up, but no, I think I'll put that flush. This, yeah, that'll go flush too. And then this is a tag, and it's going to get tucked right into this pocket, just like this. So there's a lot of real estate here. Now, I did not back these because these are on heavier cardstock, and somebody could just add a piece of paper if they want to write on this, or they can write right across that. I think it's light enough, or put a picture on it again. I also put in an eyelet in here, a reinforced eyelet, so that when I put the ribbon through it, it won't pull through the card. So I've already got these. I put the double-sided tape on these, as I already said. So again, I'm going to build one of these, and then I'll go off camera and build the other one, and then I'll show you what the end product is, because what I do to this one, I'm doing to the other one exactly the same. And I'm just going to stretch that. Oh, I did the same thing again. Ha ha ha. Get it up quick. Yeah. I hope I can pull this up. I'm an idiot. Okay, didn't do any damage, so that's good. Okay, get out my trusty eraser. You'd think I would learn. So let's get the right side. So I want it off of here. See, this eraser is a godsend. Just rolls that sticky tape right up. Okay. So, where's my tape? You'd think I'd learn, wouldn't you? Okay, so we need a little piece of tape this side. Now, there can be a bit of a problem with your double-sided tape when you're making pockets, in that, unlike glue, things can, if this isn't varnished down well enough, can get stuck underneath these edges. I don't really worry about that too much, because I think I have them varnished down good enough. They tend to be all right, but it can happen. And if you want to avoid that all completely, use a wet glue. But then you've got your drying time, right? So as I said, varnish it well so things can't get underneath it. Want to know something? I think I still got a problem. I think there's still a little sticky residue on that. Yeah, there was. Okay. Once again, pulling it off. Now, it did tear right here. You know, I could edit this out so you think it was perfect, but I forgot. I put 3 pieces of tape on here. Bright boy. Not. But I'm showing you what can happen, because if I've made this mistake, other people can make this mistake, and it's not the end of the world. You can, you know, worst case scenario, I could have cut another piece. I think I've got enough sticky on here that I'm okay. Well, maybe not on this edge. How did I miss that edge? That's very weird. Okay, I'm losing it. Not really, but you know, it happens. Okay, let's put this down. New piece. Varnish. Concentrate. Okay. We should be okay this time. Let us hope, because if I have to rip this off one more time, I may have to redo a brand new piece. Because it's only so many times you can keep ripping it off. That's better. Okay. So, this piece is going on the top. I'm okay on this one because it's not a pocket. Pull off my tape. I used two widths of tape to fit on this. I used 1/4 inch and 1/8 of an inch. So that's why it's always good to have a variety of sizes. I always have 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and 1/8 of an inch in my double-sided tapes. And I think I may have to trim just a hair off. Where'd it go? Right here. Down here on this edge. Okay. So, this tag is going to go in here, but I want to put in a ribbon, so I pre-cut some wired ribbon. I don't know if this is going to be too big. I'm just going to fold it over. See if I can get it through that hole. I may have to go with a little thinner. Okay. It is a little... No, I don't want to do that. I was going to say I can cut it in half, but then I'll lose the little edges. So let's just persevere here for a second. I'll just twist that up. There we go. And we're through. Now we can untwist it. And I'm just going to open it up. Not doing anything fancy here. Just pass the ends through. And this is why I wanted to, oh, I'm not having a good thing on this one. I just ripped it. Okay. I'm going to have to make another one of these. I will be... Okay, so I'm back. I fixed the problem, so I cut a new one of these cards out. These are pre-made cards. I think you can see that from one of my Christmas packs of paper. Put a new eyelet in, and this time I used a much thinner ribbon. So that's what I get for, well, size matters, right? So that just gets tucked right in there, and then this is going to go on this side, and it's going to get tucked right into this. Right there, fits down, and that goes in here, and hopefully this is going to secure. Okay, that side works. So now I have to work on the booklet for this side. So I'm going to do that off camera and come back and show you the end result. And I think I'm going to work on here too as well. And just as a preview, there will be a strip of this. This will be on top of here. Oh, let's do it. Shall we? Let's just do it. I've already got the tape on here. So I'll just show you what I have in mind. I'm just trying to break up this area in here. So I'm eyeballing it for centering it. Get back in the shot. And then I created this little strip that's going to go right down the middle of that. It was just to add a little bit more interest to the box when you open it up. So and I noticed that this part up here at the top, I'm going to flip it around. Again, I don't measure well. Might be a little long. I'm just going to snip off a little piece of it. There we go. And that fixes that. So there, I've got that part in there. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I'm going to finish the little booklet that goes in here, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm out of the shot. There you go. Okay, today is just not my day. I ran into another problem that I had not anticipated. So I'm going to show you what I've done. I've changed my plan a little bit. So instead of having the little booklets tucked in here, I made them as separate, and I made a third one. So there are 3 little booklets that sit in here. Now, this box originally came with that accordion fold album type thing, and that's what I was going to use. But because of what I'm about to tell you, this is what's going in place of that. So those 3 little booklets in there, which isn't such a bad idea, because one could be for journaling, one could be for Christmas pictures, one could be for whatever, you know, grandma, the grandkids, whatever in there. So what I did here on the sides then was I took the long tag that I was going to have in this pocket at the front, it's the same on both sides, and I tucked it in behind here, and I cut out 2 smaller little pieces from one of those cut apart packs, and I darkened the edges and everything and tucked those in there. Now, why did I do that? Because when I shut the box, 2 things happened. One, the magnets would not connect. It was too thick in here to do that. Now, I did look in my stash for like hinges and things that I thought I could put on the side of it, but I didn't find anything that was really going to work. So that's why I decided, okay, the best way to make this work is to make this less thick. So the booklets are now in here in the box. The other thing that happened was, you know, I was talking about my 2-sided tape and going on about how great that is. Well, it wasn't. The 2-sided tape pulled apart. It may have been the weight of the little booklets in it that were doing it, but that was no good. So I pulled them off, these pieces that make the pockets, and used my Gorilla Glue. Those suckers are not coming off. Okay, so I have the inside of the box all done, and it does shut just as it's supposed to. And I can put my little topper on, a little fluffing here, and there we go. That part of it is all done. Now, what is left to do? I don't think that's sitting quite right. There we go. Now what I want to do is, no, I don't have it set up. I got it backwards. Here we go. That's better. That's sitting where it's supposed to. Yeah, it is. Okay. So you remember I have this little drawer. Everything's sticking. I got to put a little bit more wax on this. It's still sticking. In this little drawer, I'm going to put a little accordion fold album in there. And I'm thinking, maybe, maybe not. I could cut it out of this right size, flip it in there, and decorate that. And that might be exactly what I'm going to do. So, waste not, want not. So that will be in the next segment. Okay, so there's one more part left, and that'll happen next week. And then after that, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may take a break from doing some of these album things because, quite honestly, I don't have any more ideas. I have to think about it. I need to be inspired again. And I'm so busy doing some other things around Christmas that I probably won't resume that little series that I have in my vlogs each week until after the new year. We'll see. I make no promises because I never know what I'm going to do next. Well, that's not true. I do know what I'm going to do next. I just don't. Never mind. Okay, so what's coming up? Well, I've already talked about the Craft and Chat mini retreat. And again, the link for that Zoom for this coming Wednesday, December the 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is in the show notes. It's the very first one. It's there. So I hope some of you can join us for that. All are welcome. So in advance, I've mentioned this last week and I'll mention it again. We are planning to have what we call an S&W Christmas Zoom special on December 20th starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when we usually do our Stephen and Walter live, thus the S&W, every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. But instead of this being a YouTube live, it will be Zoom live, and it's a party, okay? Wear festive clothing if you got it. Like a lot of people have those lovely tacky, lovely, yeah, okay, the Christmas sweater thing. wear tinsel. It matters not. Your choice. I'm not a dress-up kind of person, so I don't know. Maybe I'll throw on a piece of tinsel. I have no idea what I'm going to wear. But it doesn't matter what you wear as long as you can come. Bring along your favorite snack, favorite beverage, for the festive mood. I'd like people to, if they feel, there's no obligation here, if they'd like to share a Christmas memory with us, something from the past or something that they think of at Christmas time all the time. Very short, 3 minutes at the most or so, kind of a deal. Or if you've got a favorite Christmas decoration that has maybe a story behind it, because we often do have Christmas decorations that we have put out every year. It's tradition, and there's a reason, because there's a meaning behind it. Why not share that with us? And once I figure out what they're going to be, we are going to play a game or two during the Zoom meeting as well. It's just informal. It's fun. I don't know where it's going to go. I have no more of a plan than what I've just told you now. And so I hope you can join us. It'll be just friends gathering at the Christmas time of the year to have a little fun, little socialization. And don't we need that right now? It's been a tough year, hasn't it? So I hope you'll be able to join us for that. Now, I will put the link to that Zoom in my vlog the Monday before that Sunday. So whatever the date is, work backwards. If that's the 20th, the 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th, 14th of December. Yeah, that would be the 14th of December. The link will be in my vlog, but I will put up a special announcement about it as well. So I'm hoping we get, a fair number of people, but it doesn't matter how many people we have. We're just going to have fun. Okay, so what else is planned this week? Well, Christmas decorating. Okay, this is why I have to clean today. I've already got my Christmas decorations out from the crawl space, and that's always an event that I hate doing, but because I call it the black hole of Calcutta in there because of all the crap that's under there. Another place in our house that needs to be desperately cleaned out. So I've pulled it all out. I intend to do a Idiot Quilter episode showing the various Christmas decorations I made this year and last year, and then showing you where they're going to go in my house, or once I have it decorated. Now that's going to take me some time, because first I got to clean the house today, then I have to organize the Christmas decorations, then I have to figure out where they're going to go. Life of a retired person during COVID. Really, my days are busy. So that's what's coming up this week. Wow. All right. It's amazing. Something like this gets you excited. So it's just the way things are these days, isn't it? So anyways, enough said about that. I hope you have a good week. Check out Stephen and Walter live. Do join us if you're able to. The Craft and Chat on Wednesday at the mini retreat. And we'll see you next week. So stay well, stay happy, stay in. See you later. Bye-bye.